Commander Isabella Rodriguez stood at the center of the UES Destiny's bridge, her dark eyes fixed on the massive holographic display floating before her. The ship's quantum sensors painted an elegant picture of space around them, highlighting the three unknown vessels that had just emerged from what appeared to be artificially generated wormholes. "Analysis, Lieutenant Chen," she asked, maintaining her calm demeanor despite the gravity of the situation. Humanity's first contact with an alien civilization wasn't just historic, it would define their species' place among the stars. Lieutenant Mai Chen's fingers danced across her tactical console, processing the incoming data streams. "The vessels appear to be biomechanical in nature, Commander. Their hulls are generating some kind of energy signature I've never seen before. It's almost alive." The Destiny hung silently in space, its sleek obsidian hull absorbing nearby starlight. At just over 2 kilometers in length, the vessel represented the pinnacle of human engineering. Its neural-linked systems and quantum-enhanced artificial intelligence made it more than just a warship. It was humanity's greatest achievement in space exploration. "They're broadcasting something," Communications Officer Maya Patel announced, her console illuminating with new data. It's beautiful, actually. The signal contains mathematical sequences, atomic structures, and what appears to be musical harmonies." Rodriguez smiled. Despite all their preparation for a hostile first contact, these beings were reaching out with science and art. "Send our first contact package in response. Let's show them humanity's best face." The bridge crew worked with practiced efficiency as the alien vessels drew closer. The incoming ships were elegant, their hulls flowing with patterns of bioluminescence that shifted and changed like auroras in Earth's night sky. They moved with an organic grace that made the Destiny's mechanical precision seem almost crude in comparison. "Nova, what's your assessment?" Rodriguez asked the ship's eye. A gentle blue hologram materialized beside her chair, taking the form of a constellation of interconnected stars. "The vessel's technology base is fundamentally different from our own, Commander. While we pursued quantum mechanics and artificial intelligence, they appear to have developed biotechnology to an extraordinary degree. Their ships are likely grown rather than built." The largest alien vessel, its hull shimmering with patterns of green and gold, took position 2,000 kilometers from the Destiny. The other two ships flanked it in perfect formation, their movements synchronized with unnatural precision. "They're scanning us," Lieutenant Chen reported, her eyes widening at the sensor readings. "Their technology. It's like nothing we've ever seen. The scans aren't using electromagnetic or quantum signatures. They're using some kind of biological field that interfaces directly with matter." Rodriguez straightened her uniform, years of training kicking in. "Open all frequencies, Maya. Let's make history." The main view screen shimmed to life, revealing a sight that made even the veteran bridge crew catch their breath. The alien commander appeared to be made of living crystal, its translucent form housing swirling patterns of light that seemed to pulse with thoughts and emotions. "Greetings, vessel of the unknown." The aliens' thoughts translated directly into words in their minds, its telepathic broadcast somehow bypassing their neural interfaces. "We are the Myrian Collective, seekers of life among the stars. We come in peace and curiosity." Rodriguez took a deep breath, knowing her next words would echo through human history. "On behalf of humanity and the United Earth Alliance, we welcome you to our solar system. I am Commander Isabella Rodriguez of the UES Destiny." The Myrian commander's crystalline form sparkled with new patterns. "Your vessel. It sings with power we have never encountered. We detected your quantum signatures from across the galaxy, but we did not expect to find such elegant solutions from such a young species." As Rodriguez prepared to respond, Lieutenant Chen's tactical console suddenly flashed red. "Commander, energy spike from the smaller vessels. They're charging weapons." The fate of humanity's first contact hung in the balance, as did the answer to humanity's oldest question. Are we alone in the universe? In the next few moments, Commander Rodriguez would have to make decisions that would echo through the centuries to come. Lieutenant Mai Chen's fingers flew across her tactical console, neural interface humming as she analyzed the enemy weapon signatures. Commander, their weapon systems appear to be channeling some kind of bioplasma. Temperature readings are off the charts, but the energy pattern is strange. Commander Rodriguez kept her eyes locked on the crystalline form of the Myrian leader, whose patterns had shifted to rapid, aggressive pulses of red and orange. "First speaker," she said calmly, "I hope there's an explanation for your escort's aggressive posture." The alien's crystalline form flickered with what might have been embarrassment. "My deepest apologies, Commander Rodriguez. Our younger officers are programmed with certain ceremonial responses to first contact scenarios. They believe a display of strength is necessary to establish proper diplomatic relations." A display of strength. Maya Patel muttered from her communication station, hands hovering over emergency broadcast protocols. Novia's holographic constellation pulsed with analytical patterns. "Commander, I'm detecting quantum fluctuations in their bioplasma chambers. They appear to be preparing for a low-yield demonstration shot, likely aimed at empty space near our position." Rodriguez relaxed slightly but maintained her professional demeanor. "First speaker, while we appreciate cultural differences, unexpected weapons tests during first contact scenarios can lead to unfortunate misunderstandings." The bridge crew watched as the Myrian leader's crystalline form rippled with waves of blue-green light. "Of course, Commander. I shall order them to power down there." Before the first speaker could finish, one of the escort vessels released a brilliant burst of green energy that streaked through space toward the Destiny's port side. Lieutenant Chen's hands were already moving, her tactical systems presenting multiple response options. "Permission to demonstrate our own capabilities, Commander?" Chen asked, a slight smile playing at the corners of her mouth. Rodriguez nodded once. "Approved. Defensive pattern Delta. Minimal response." The space between the Destiny and the incoming plasma burst suddenly came alive. Thousands of microscopic defense drones, invisible until now, activated in perfect sequence. Each one barely larger than a grain of sand, they formed a three-dimensional grid of quantum-linked particles. When the Myrian plasma burst hit this invisible wall, something remarkable happened. Instead of a violent interaction, the energy was caught, channeled, and transformed. The drones worked in concert, converting the hostile energy into a spectacular display of colored light that rippled out in a harmless, aurora-like wave. The Myrian vessels went completely dark for a moment, their bioluminescent patterns freezing in what could only be shock. By the ancestral seas, the first speaker's thoughts echoed in their minds. Such control, such elegance. Our scans didn't detect any defensive fields. "That's because we don't need them," Lieutenant Chen explained, pride evident in her voice. "Traditional energy shields are wasteful. Our point defense swarm can adapt to any energy pattern and redirect it harmlessly." Rodriguez watched as new patterns of light swirled through the first speaker's form, colors suggesting curiosity and perhaps a touch of fear. "First speaker, humanity has evolved alongside artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and nanotechnology. We prefer elegant solutions over brute force." Novia's hologram expanded, showing a detailed analysis of the Myrian vessels. Their entire technological base operates on principles of biological enhancement and evolution. Fascinating. They've achieved space travel through an entirely different path than humanity. The first speaker's form pulsed with rapidly changing colors. "Commander Rodriguez, I must admit our preliminary scans severely underestimated your species' advancement. Perhaps we should begin these discussions anew, with proper respect and protocol." "I'd like that," Rodriguez replied, allowing a warm smile to cross her face. "Though I hope you understand if we keep our point defense systems active, purely as a precaution." The crystalline alien's form sparkled with what might have been laughter. "Of course, Commander. Though I must ask, if these are your defensive capabilities, what other wonders does your vessel hide beneath its dark hull?" Lieutenant Chen and Commander Rodriguez exchanged knowing looks. The Destiny's true capabilities would certainly make for an interesting diplomatic discussion, if they could maintain peace long enough to have it. The holographic displays aboard the Destiny's bridge showed the Myrian vessels moving in closer, their bioluminescent hulls creating mesmerizing patterns against the star-filled backdrop. Lieutenant Chen tracked their movements with practiced ease, noting how the alien ships seemed to pulse in synchronized rhythm. "They're scanning us again," Maya Patel reported from her communication station. "Different frequency this time. It's like they're trying to taste us." Commander Rodriguez raised an eyebrow. "Taste us?" Nova's constellation form shifted thoughtfully. The Myrian scanning technology appears to be based on sensory organs similar to those found in Earth's marine life. They're attempting to build a complete biological and technological profile of our vessel. "Commander," the first speaker's thoughts resonated in their minds. "Our preliminary analysis suggests impossibilities. Your hull composition, it appears to be converting energy at the quantum level, but we detect no power source." Lieutenant Chen smiled. "That's because the hull is the power source." First speaker. "Each molecular layer acts as both sensor and converter. We don't need massive reactor cores when every atom of our ship can process energy." The crystalline alien's form flickered with rapid pulses of purple and gold, colors they were beginning to associate with excitement and disbelief. But such technology would require processing power beyond biological computing. Chen finished. "That's where our quantum AI networks come in. Nova isn't just a computer system. She's woven into the fabric of our hull." As if to demonstrate, the Destiny's obsidian surface rippled with a wave of microscopic adjustments, each plate shifting to capture and redirect the ambient solar radiation more efficiently. The Myrian vessels actually backed away slightly, their own bioorganic hulls flashing with warning patterns. "Fascinating," the first speaker broadcast. "We evolved our technology through biological enhancement, growing our ships from living crystal matrices. But you've turned inorganic matter itself into a living system." Rodriguez nodded. "Different paths to the stars." First speaker. "Your organic technology is equally impressive. The way your ships move in formation, it's like watching a school of fish in perfect harmony." The diplomatic exchange was interrupted by a sudden alert from Chen's tactical station. "Commander, the youngest Myrian vessel is powering up its weapons again. Energy signatures are much higher this time." The first speaker's form turned a deep, alarming red. "Second scout, stand down immediately. This is not." But the younger Myrian officer had already released a massive burst of bioplasma, far more powerful than the previous demonstration. This time, the energy pulse spiraled through space in a complex helix pattern, designed to overwhelm simple point defenses. Chen's hands danced across her console. "Permission to show them something special, Commander." Rodriguez's eyes narrowed as she assessed the incoming threat. "Granted. Active defense pattern Sigma. Let's give them a proper demonstration." The Destiny's response was poetry in motion. Instead of deploying another defensive grid, the ship released a cloud of what appeared to be glowing butterflies. Each one was a highly advanced drone, its wings composed of energy-absorbing metamaterials that shimmered with iridescent patterns. As the bioplasma helix approached, the butterfly drones began an intricate dance. They spiraled around the incoming energy in perfect formation, their wings brushing against the deadly plasma. With each touch, they absorbed and redistributed the energy, transforming the attack into a spectacular light show that rippled across space in expanding waves of color. The Myrian vessels went completely still, their hull patterns frozen in what could only be described as awe. "Impossible," the second scout's thoughts whispered across their minds. "No defense system could." "Not a defense system," Chen corrected proudly. "And art installation. Those are actually atmospheric processors we use for terraforming. We just thought they'd make the point more elegantly than our combat systems." The first speaker's crystalline form shimmered with what they now recognized as laughter. Commander Rodriguez, I believe we have severely underestimated humanity's capacity for turning scientific principles into works of art. Rodriguez allowed herself a small smile. First speaker, you haven't seen anything yet. Maya Patel's console lit up with an incoming transmission request. Commander, the first speaker is asking permission to send a delegation aboard. They want to. She paused, double-checking the translation. Share dreams with us. Commander Rodriguez glanced at Neovia's shimmering constellation. The eyes form pulsed thoughtfully as it analyzed the request. The Myrian neural structure appears to be based on crystalline quantum states, Novat explained. Their concept of sharing dreams is closer to what we would call direct data exchange. Interesting proposal, Lieutenant Chen commented from her tactical station, her fingers still dancing over the controls as she monitored the alien vessels. Their bioorganic technology might actually be compatible with our neural interfaces, at least on a basic level. Rodriguez considered the implications. The Destiny's Great Hall could easily accommodate a first contact ceremony, and the diplomatic potential was immense. First speaker, we would be honored, though I hope you understand if we maintain standard security protocols. The crystalline alien's form sparkled with approval. Of course, Commander. We have much to learn from each other. Your technology follows paths we never imagined possible. Within the hour, the Destiny's Great Hall had been prepared for the historic meeting. The massive chamber, with its quantum glass windows revealing the star-filled expanse of space, hummed with anticipation. The ship's internal architecture could shift and flow thanks to its adaptive nanomaterials, and now it displayed a perfect blend of human aesthetics and shapes that would feel familiar to the Myrian visitors. Their shuttle is approaching, Chen reported, now stationed at a temporary tactical console in the Great Hall. Their propulsion system, it's like watching a jellyfish swim through space. The Myrian diplomatic vessel was smaller than their warships, its crystalline structure pulsing with gentle waves of bioluminescence as it gracefully entered the Destiny's main docking bay. The human crew watched in fascination as the vessel seemed to merge with the docking pad, its crystalline structure adapting to create a perfect seal. When the Myrian delegation emerged, even the veteran crew members gasped in wonder. The first speaker's crystalline form was even more impressive in person, towering 3 meters tall and shifting with internal lights that painted stories in color and motion. They were accompanied by what appeared to be scientists, their forms more compact, but no less beautiful. Commander Rodriguez, the first speaker's thoughts resonated clearly in their minds. Your vessel, it defies our understanding of technological evolution. Our species spent millennia perfecting biological enhancement, growing our ships from living crystal, merging our consciousness with organic computers. But we took a different path, Rodriguez acknowledged, gesturing to the surrounding hall. Humanity learned to manipulate matter at its most fundamental level. Instead of growing our technology, we taught it to grow itself. One of the Myrian scientists moved forward, their form pulsing with academic curiosity. Your ship's hull, it's not just a barrier. It's a massive quantum computer, isn't it? Each atom acting as a processing node. Lieutenant Chen nodded, proud to explain her ship's capabilities. The entire vessel thinks. Every molecule can reconfigure itself based on need. Our AI partners like NOVA provide the oversight, but the ship itself is one giant adaptive system. The first speaker's colors shifted to deep blues of contemplation. 2 paths to the same stars. We sought to perfect nature's designs, while you chose to become nature's architects. Their form brightened suddenly. Perhaps that is why the ancient records speak of humanity's potential. You don't just use technology. You transform it into something entirely new. Ancient records. Rodriguez asked, her interest piqued. You've known about us. The crystalline alien's patterns became more complex, suggesting both excitement and concern. Commander, there is much we need to discuss. About your species, about the galaxy, and about what awaits us all in the darkness between stars. The humans exchanged glances, recognizing that this first contact was about to become far more significant than they'd imagined. The Great Hall of the Destiny had transformed into something extraordinary. As the Myrian delegation shared their ancient records through shifting patterns of light and color, the ship's adaptive walls responded, creating a three-dimensional star map that filled the chamber. These records, the first speaker explained, their crystalline form pulsing with deep purple hues, speak of a species that would bridge the gap between organic and synthetic life. A species that would see technology not as a tool, but as an art form. Commander Rodriguez studied the star map, watching as it highlighted various sectors of the galaxy. And you believe this species is humanity? Lieutenant Chen had been analyzing the data through her neural interface, her eyes widening at the implications. Commander, these star patterns, they match theoretical models of human expansion that we've never shared publicly. It's like they had a blueprint of our future. The Myrian scientist, who had introduced themselves as Dreamweaver, moved through the holographic display with fluid grace. We believe these records were myths, stories told by the Crystal Elders to inspire innovation. But your ship, your technology, you've already achieved what our ancestors only dreamed of. Maya Patel's console chimed with an alert. Commander, Neo VA has completed her analysis of the Myrian historical data. She's requesting permission to initiate a demonstration. Rodriguez exchanged glances with the first speaker, whose form sparkled with curiosity. With your permission, first speaker, I believe it's time we showed you something that might explain why your ancestors knew of us. At Rodriguez's command, the Great Hall's quantum glass windows transformed. The Destiny's Hall began to shift, revealing layers of technology that had remained hidden until now. Streams of light flowed through the nanomaterial structure, creating patterns that mirrored the Myrians' own bioluminescent communications. What you're seeing, Chen explained, her hands dancing across her tactical console, is the fundamental language of the universe. Your species evolved to communicate through quantum crystalline structures. We developed technology that speaks the same language. No VA's holographic form expanded throughout the room, merging with the star map to create a stunning display of interconnected light and energy. Your ancient records weren't predictions, the AI explained gently. They were echoes of a universal truth, that all advanced life eventually learns to speak to the quantum fabric of reality itself. The first speaker's form pulsed with intense colors of revelation. The Starbridge Protocol. You've achieved it. Rodriguez nodded. Lieutenant Chen initialized the demonstration sequence. The space between the Destiny and the Myrian vessels suddenly came alive with possibility. A single point of light emerged from the human ship's bow, expanding into a delicate web of quantum-entangled particles. As the web grew, it created a bridge of pure information between the two species' vessels. For a brief moment, human and Myrian consciousness touched across the void. The first speaker's crystalline form blazed with brilliant colors as they experienced centuries of human history, art, and innovation. In return, the human crew glimpsed the beautiful evolutionary journey of the Myrian people, their growth from crystal gardens to starfaring civilization. Extraordinary, Dreamweaver whispered into their minds. Your technology doesn't just imitate life, it creates new forms of it. Each innovation is a brushstroke on the canvas of reality. Chen smiled as she monitored the quantum bridge. That's the difference between our approaches. You perfected what nature created. We asked nature what it wanted to become. The first speaker moved closer to Rodriguez, their form shimmering with newfound understanding. Commander, the ancient records speak of more than just human potential. They warn of darkness coming, of threats that can only be faced by those who have mastered both the organic and synthetic paths. Rodriguez felt a chill despite the Destiny's perfect environmental controls. What kind of threats? The crystalline alien's colors darkened to deep, warning crimsons. Perhaps it would be better if we showed you. Dreamweaver, initialize the temporal viewing crystal. As the Myrian scientists prepared their mysterious device, the human crew realized their first contact was about to become something far more significant than any of them had imagined. Dreamweaver's temporal viewing crystal floated in the center of the Destiny's Great Hall, its multifaceted surface refracting light in impossible ways. As it activated, the surrounding space seemed to fold in on itself, creating a window into somewhere or someone else. What you're about to see, the first speaker's thoughts resonated grimly, is from the edge of Myrian space, recorded 3 stellar cycles ago. The crystal's projection showed a beautiful star system with twin suns, its planets wrapped in crystalline structures that could only be Myrian architecture. Suddenly, something wrong appeared at the system's edge, a tear in space itself, leaking what looked like living darkness. Lieutenant Chen's tactical instincts kicked in immediately. Those energy readings, they're negative. That's theoretically impossible. Her neural interface was struggling to process the data streaming from the crystal. Maya Patel's hands flew across her console. Neto VA, are you seeing this? The void, it's consuming light itself. The AI's constellation form pulsed with rapid calculations. Confirmed. The phenomenon appears to be a form of anti-reality, breaking down the fundamental forces that hold space-time together. We call them the Void Dancers, Dreamweaver explained, their crystalline form dimming with remembered horror. They emerge from tears in space, consuming everything they touch. Our biological technology is helpless against them. They simply unravel our living ships. The recording showed Myrian vessels attempting to fight back, their beautiful bioorganic weapons passing harmlessly through the dark entities. Within minutes, an entire world had been reduced to lifeless rock, its crystalline structures dissolved into nothingness. Commander Rodriguez watched intently, her mind already racing with tactical possibilities. Lieutenant Chen, analysis. The entities appear to exist partially outside normal spacetime. Chen reported, her tactical display showing multiple simulated response scenarios. But their negative energy signature. Commander, it's the exact opposite of how the Destiny's hull processes quantum information. The first speaker's colors shifted to hopeful blues. Yes, your technology. It doesn't just manipulate reality, it reinforces it. Our scholars believe this is why the ancient records spoke of humanity. You may be the only species capable of fighting the Void Dancers. No VA's holographic form expanded, integrating with the temporal crystal's display to enhance the analysis. The Destiny's quantum processing hull could theoretically generate a field of reinforced reality. We could potentially create spaces where these entities cannot exist. More than that, Chen added, excitement creeping into her voice. If we combine our quantum field technology with Myrian bioorganic sensors, she paused, looking at Dreamweaver. Your ships can feel the fabric of space itself, can't they? The Myrian scientist's form brightened. Yes, our living crystals resonate with the underlying structure of reality. That's how we navigate, how we communicate. Rodriguez stepped forward, her expression determined. Then we can work together. Your ships can sense where these tiers will appear, and we can generate fields to seal them. She turned to the first speaker. This is why first contact happened now, isn't it? The crystalline being pulsed with solemn colors. The Void Dancers are growing stronger, spreading further. Our long-range sensors detect massive tiers forming throughout the galaxy. We needed to find humanity before it was too late. How long do we have? Rodriguez asked. Dreamweaver manipulated the crystal, showing a map of spreading darkness. The largest tear we've ever detected is forming at the edge of your solar system. It will open in less than 6 hours. The human crew exchanged determined looks. Lieutenant Chen's hands were already moving across her tactical console, preparing combat scenarios. Maya Patel began configuring communication protocols to link human and Myrian systems. Nove's form sparkled with rapid calculations. First speaker, Rodriguez said firmly, I propose an immediate alliance between our species. We'll need to work fast to prepare for what's coming. The crystalline being's form blazed with brilliant colors of agreement. "Together then, Commander. Let us show these void dancers what happens when nature's perfection and humanity's innovation join forces." As both crews rushed to prepare for the coming battle, they knew they were about to make history, if they survived long enough to record it. The next 5 hours transformed the Destiny in ways its designers had never imagined possible. Throughout the massive vessel, Myrian crystal technology merged with human quantum systems, creating hybrid interfaces that sparkled with new possibilities. Lieutenant Chen stood at her enhanced tactical station, now augmented with flowing crystal displays that responded to both touch and thought. "Neural integration between ships is at 98%, she reported. "The Myrian biosensors are feeding directly into our targeting systems." Beside her, Dreamweaver's crystalline form pulsed with concentrated effort as they fine-tuned the connection. "Remarkable," their thoughts echoed. "Your quantum processors adapt to our crystal matrices as if they were made for each other. It's like they're learning to dream together." Commander Rodriguez watched as Nova's holographic form danced with streams of Myrian data, the AI learning to interpret the alien signals in real time. "Time to emergence," she asked, her voice steady despite the tension. 43 minutes. Maya Patel answered from her communication station, now transformed into a glittering hybrid of human and Myrian technology. "The tear is growing. It's already larger than anything in the Myrian records." The first speaker's towering form stood by the main viewport, their crystalline surface reflecting the strange distortions now visible at the edge of the solar system. "You can see it with bare eyes now, reality beginning to unravel." They were right. Even without sensors, the crew could see something wrong with the fabric of space itself. It was as if someone had taken a knife to the night sky, creating a wound that leaked absolute darkness. "All ships reporting ready," Chen announced. The Destiny now led a combined fleet of 3 Myrian vessels, each one enhanced with quantum reinforcement fields derived from human technology. Crystal resonance arrays are synchronized. Reality anchors are charged and ready. Rodriguez nodded grimly. "Netova, begin the final countdown." First speaker, "Are your crews prepared for what we're about to attempt?" The crystalline being's colors shifted through patterns of determination. "We're ready, Commander. Though I must admit, using our ships as reality stabilizers is not something we ever conceived possible before meeting humanity." The plan was audacious, perhaps even impossible. The Myrian vessels would use their bioorganic sensors to map the tear's quantum structure, while the Destiny's enhanced hull would generate a field of reinforced reality around it. Together, they would essentially suture the wound in spacetime before the void dancers could fully emerge. 20 minutes to emergence, Paddle reported. "The tear, it's starting to pulse." Dreamweaver's form flickered with alarm. "These readings, they're orders of magnitude stronger than anything we've encountered. Something massive is trying to break through." Chen's tactical display erupted with warnings as space itself began to warp. Multiple quantum fluctuations detected. "The tear is becoming unstable." First speaker, Rodriguez called out, "Begin crystal resonance sequence." Lieutenant Chen, charge the reality anchors. "Maya, link all ships to Nova's coordination network. Let's show these void dancers what happens when humanity and Myrian work together." The combined fleet moved into position, their formations creating a perfect geometric pattern around the growing tear. The Destiny's quantum-enhanced hull began to glow with accumulated energy as the Myrian vessels extended crystalline structures that pulsed with living light. Suddenly, the tear exploded outward, growing from a knife wound to a gaping maw in the fabric of reality. Through it came something that defied description. A writhing mass of anti-reality that consumed light, matter, and space itself. "By the Crystal Elders," the first speaker whispered in their minds. "It's a void leviathan. The ancient records spoke of them, but we never thought." "Size estimate," Rodriguez demanded, her voice remaining steady even as she watched the impossible horror emerge. Chen's response was barely a whisper. "It's larger than Earth's moon, Commander. And it's not alone. As more shapes began to emerge from the tear, Rodriguez knew that the next few minutes would determine not just the fate of two species, but the survival of reality itself in their corner of the galaxy. The Void Leviathan's emergence sent ripples through reality itself, its massive form defying the laws of physics. Behind it, smaller void dancers poured through the tear like living shadows, each one capable of consuming an entire planet. Reality anchors at full power, Lieutenant Chen reported, her hands dancing across the crystalline enhanced tactical controls. Myrian sensors are tracking the tear's quantum structure. We have one chance to seal it. Commander Rodriguez stood at the center of the Destiny's Bridge, watching as the impossible horror approached. First Teaker, begin the resonance sequence. Dreamweaver, synchronize your crystal matrices with NOVA's quantum field. The Myrian vessels moved in perfect formation, their living hulls extending crystalline webs that pulse with bioorganic energy. The Destiny's quantum-processed hull began to glow with accumulated power, its adaptive surface flowing like liquid starlight. Commander, Maya Patel's voice was urgent. The Void Leviathan, it's trying to communicate. Through their neural interfaces, the crew felt it. A vast, cold intelligence that spoke in concepts of entropy and dissolution. Your reality is a mistake, it projected into their minds. We are the truth beneath creation. All returns to the void. The first speaker's form blazed with defiant light. No, life creates meaning. Consciousness shapes reality itself. Rodriguez nodded firmly. Lieutenant Chen, initialize the reality wave. Show them humanity's answer to the void. What happened next would be remembered in both human and Myrian histories for millennia to come. The Destiny's entire hull transformed into a quantum processor of unprecedented power. Every atom became a calculation point, every molecule a gateway to reinforce the fabric of space-time itself. The Myrian vessels added their power to the effort, their living crystals resonating with human technology in perfect harmony. Dreamweaver's enhanced sensors mapped the quantum structure of reality, while NOVA's processing power calculated exactly how to reinforce it. Reality wave at critical mass, Chen announced, her voice steady despite the strain. Firing in 3, 2, 1. The combined fleet released their power in a synchronized burst of creation. The Destiny's quantum field merged with Myrian crystal energy, creating a cascading wave of reinforced reality that spread outward like ripples in the cosmic pond. Where the wave touched the void dancers, they simply ceased to exist, their anti-reality structure unable to maintain coherence in the face of such concentrated existence. The Void Leviathan roared in concepts of heat death and eternal darkness, but even it could not resist the combined power of two species fighting for life itself. The tear is beginning to close. Dreamweaver reported, their crystalline form bright with triumph. The quantum structure is repairing itself. Rodriguez watched as the massive wound in reality began to heal, its edges knitting together under the influence of their combined technology. The Void Leviathan made one last attempt to breach their reality, but the reinforcement wave had become self-sustaining, powered by the very nature of existence itself. Crystal resonance at maximum, the first speaker announced. Commander, shall we finish this? Together, Rodriguez commanded. All ships, final burst. Let's seal this terror permanently. The combined fleet pulsed with one final surge of power. The reality wave reached its crescendo, and the tear collapsed in on itself with a silent flash of creation. Where there had been a wound in spacetime, now there was only healthy reality, reinforced by the marriage of human and Myrian technology. As the crew breathed a collective sigh of relief, Dreamweaver's thoughts reached out to them all. The ancient records were right. Humanity didn't just master technology. You learned to strengthen reality itself. No, Rodriguez replied, smiling at their alien allies. We didn't do this alone. This victory belongs to both our species. Together, we didn't just fight the void. We prove that consciousness and creation will always be stronger than entropy and dissolution. The first speaker's form sparkled with joy and pride. Perhaps this is why the universe guided our species to meet, not just to fight the darkness, but to show that different paths can lead to the same truth, that life, in all its forms, is the greatest force in existence. As the combined fleet turned toward Earth, human and Myrian crews celebrated together, knowing that this was just the beginning of their shared journey among the stars.